Hello, I'm Kai, and today I will be explaining how the cardiac conduction system is represented by an EKG or electrocardiogram. So we have some specialized cardiocytes that kind of work more like a neural network to send electrical signals throughout the heart. Our first little bundle of that we need to know is the sinoatrial node, which is going to be in the upper portion of the right atrium here. That's known as the heart's pacemaker because it starts the electrical signal and sends it down to the atrioventricular node. That is going to be the catalyst to the entire heartbeat. All of these things are connected and send the signals throughout the entire heart, starting with the sinoatrial node. So that is going to be represented by the P wave, which you can kind of remember as the atrial pump, the first initial pump that starts. So here it is on my little heart. Sinoatrial node is this little spark up here, travels down to the atrioventricular and creates that first atrial depolarization or contraction, sending blood down into the ventricles. The blood then gets stopped from backflowing by our valves, and there's a short pause in the electrical signals to allow that blood to go all the way down into the ventricles, because if your heart beat like this and the blood was pumping through all of them at the same time, that just wouldn't work very well. So we need the blood to go from the atrium down the ventricles, and then down in the ventricles, those are going to push the blood into your pulmonary artery and your aorta to push blood into the lungs to get oxygenated, and through the aorta into the body. That's going to be represented by this QRS wave. It's much larger because you have a lot more action and energy going by pushing this blood from down in the ventricles into the body and the lungs. And so that can kind of be remembered as QRS is this really big line here that's going to be quick, really big push. It's kind of a way to remember what that one represents. Again, it's just a much bigger reaction to push that blood from the ventricles into the aorta and the pulmonary artery. And then finally, the T wave is going to be representing the ventricular repolarization, or basically when the ventricles take a pause for the heart to fill up and start all over again. So you can kind of remember that one as T wave, for time to take a break. So P wave, the heart pumps, starting by the sinoatrial node, sending to the atrioventricular node. Then we have our big spike here showing the heart depolarizing from the ventricles, pushing that blood up and through. And then the T wave representing that quick pause. So P, QRS, T, P, QRS, T. And that is how the electrocardiogram represents the cardiac conduction system.